Please don't take this person out. Would you politely go to hell? Get the fuck out of my way, 'cause it's been one of those days.
From far beyond.
Hey guys,
Jimmy Pardo, Sergeant Detective.
On this week's adventure,
He took us for steaks.
I want my baby back. 18? 17? Yeah.
You're in this dojo, friend.
get out of here.
Ha ha! Isn't that fun?
Mad at the world.
Live on tape. It's the fastest hour in podcasting. This is Never Not Funny. Now, here's your host, Jimmy Pardo.
Hello, everybody. Indeed, yes. Let's do this. Let's talk about it. Let's quit. You know what? I'm sick of skirting the issues today. Let's get to this. Episode 913. I know there's a lot of dragging the heels, a lot of dilly-dallying going on. This thing is not even 15 seconds in, and I feel like I'm not giving you guys 100%, and that's on me. I apologize. I'm going to pick it up. I'm at 18% now, and 18 seconds in. I'm going to give you, once I get to 100 seconds into the show, I'm going to be at full drive.
You're 1 for 1.
I don't know what
1 second per percent.
Yeah, 1 for 1. I'm equal. All things being equal, I feel good about this. Welcome in. This is 913. The name of the program is Never Not Funny. The name of the host is Jimmy Pardo. The name of Chicago 12 is Hot Streets. Now, we learn a lot about music through numbers. Now, the Romans had it down pat when they were using symbols instead of the numerals that we use today. And I'd like to talk a little bit about it today. I'd like to talk mainly, and I'll bring our guest in a moment. I brought this gentleman in specifically because he has a love of numerology. This is a gentleman who has blogs about numerology, about how the numbers really affect our lives. What's going on today? It's a 3. You know what that means. Some of you probably don't. Some people think 3 is a lucky number. Others will see 3 is a low number, 1 to 3. That's not very high. How are you feeling today? 3. That's not high. That's not feeling good. This gentleman's going to tell us more about it. We're lucky to have him here. We're going to get to that in half a second here. But let's go around the room first, huh? Elliot told me in advance he's not feeling good today. He's in a bad mood, Elliot? Is that safe to say? Are you in a bad? Thumb is down from Elliot Hochberg from IND.
Sounds like you're at a 3.
You had a 3? Some people think that's a lucky day. He doesn't even want to answer this. He said, Elliot, I apologize. You're not feeling good today. Anything that we can help with? Not at all. Elliot is very upset. Is it about that email I sent back that your email confused me? Sure. Does it really have something to do with that? That email that I may or may not still be reading? I got so confused. I didn't know what was happening in that email. I don't know if I'm involved. I don't even know. At some point, I don't know what happened to that email. And I will take 99% of the blame on that email. Usually I put it all on you. I will take 99% of the blame. I wish I could release this email to the public, but about 12 words in, I went, no, can't read the other 4,000. Don't know what's happening. I'm not sure what. Speaking of numbers, that's from season 3. I got a season 5. Then there's season 7 over here. I got 30 seconds from season 4. I literally, my brain, I wrote it down, probably curtly, because I'm always accused of that. My head literally exploded. And I'm Richard Lewis. It literally exploded. I'm doing the best I can.
That was the email from hell.
It was an email from hell. Now I feel like I'm stealing from myself at this point. Great line when I heard him say that, when he said from hell live, and then he said, I feel like I'm stealing from myself, because every comic stole from hell from him. Brilliant man. He's 79 years old. One of my biggest inspirations, and I wish him luck. And one day we'll get him on here. If him appearing on Marins didn't turn him off the podcast in general. Now let's go over there. His name, you all right? Very concerned. This gentleman's name, you know him, and he's wearing that's a John Lennon inspired T-shirt. Is that not?
I don't know.
Didn't John Lennon wear a cigarettes and whiskey T-shirt? Isn't that the famous photo of him wearing a shirt?
No, isn't it just New York?
He's worn more than one T-shirt.
But the iconic.
The iconic is the New York, no question. But I really think that is a John Lennon thing. I'm going to have you look that up at some point. John Lennon cigarette and whiskey T-shirt. But I'm not going to have you look it up right now, because I want you to look right at me, Danny. And Dan is using, he's got, it's on his ear, as you probably see in that shot there. He's using the Look-See personal camera. That fits right over your ear, and you could wear it around. It just looks like a Bluetooth. Nobody would ever think it's anything crazy. It looks like a Bluetooth you would buy from a guy's trunk and said, hey, got the best price on Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Who needs a Bluetooth?
It does. It looks like a Bluetooth that's just a little too big.
It looks like-
little bigger than it needs to be.
It looks like a hammer hanging off of his head. It looks like, and by that I mean the rapper MC Hammer. But it is. It's just a little too big. It looks like something you might keep your folding reading glasses in. And he has that hanging from there because he doesn't remember where he put his glasses.
Yeah. I just feel like if you wore that on public, people would be like, they make those smaller now.
Right.
Because it's like 5 years ago, Bluetooth.
Well, funny, when I walked in, I go, "You got your Bluetooth on, Dan?" And he goes, "Oh, it's actually that camera."
Yeah.
And the Looxcie, Looxcie camera. And boy, really, your hands free. You can videotape yourself doing some pottery, maybe playing with Play-Doh. Really anything you can do with that Looxcie camera. Now, Dan, is it cumbersome?
It feels like it's going to fall off.
At any moment.
Yeah.
Probably because it's 78 pounds. Right? It is a camera. Let's not pretend that it's not a camera. It's not a Bluetooth.
It does use Bluetooth.
I've just been told by sad sack Elliot Hochberg that it does use Bluetooth. Elliot said, "I'm probably not going to talk a lot today. I don't feel good." But then he came at me, and I may say, Elliot, aggressively, it does use Bluetooth. Like, you're mad at me over Bluetooth, and I had nothing to do with that. What I did have to do with was responding to that email of yours, which I still to this second don't understand.
By the way, I read your answer to that email before I saw his email, and then didn't read his email.
Because I said we talk about it,
Right.
and then he not today. He doesn't want to talk at all today.
You spared me, so now I feel like I owe you one.
You owe me more than one, and one is the loneliest number.
Oh, here
It
we
all
go. Back
goes
to numerology.
Listen, that's what I'm about today. Anyhow, Elliot, it took a shot of Dan using the Looxcie.
Yes.
And you see that's something that we're going to use on a regular basis? Or, yeah, we used it the one time. We covered our asses. Great. Looxcie, go check these cameras out. They are light. You don't even know what's on.
Look, I bet a lot of people listening to our podcast like to do hidden camera pranks. So this is the perfect way. You don't have to wear the cumbersome nerd glasses anymore
Right.
with the camera in the middle. Now you can just look like you have a Bluetooth from 1999.
Even 99's Bluetooth.
Did they have Bluetooth in 99? As I was saying that, I was like, boy, I don't know if the 90s even...
It just looks like, it doesn't even look, it looks like the headset that would have been wired back in the late 90s.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
And by wired, I'm, of course, talking about the Belushi biopic that Michael Chiklis starred in. You'd have that hanging off the side of your head. It couldn't be less cumbersome than this fucking thing.
You think Chiklis's performance is less cumbersome than this camera?
I thought he was terrific in that, but do you remember what he was? You're too young, probably. He was told, our guest probably remembers, never going to work in this town again.
Yeah.
So disgusting what he's doing to John's memory. Really accurately played the man. Did a pretty good job in the singing and dancing. Died doing drugs. I don't know why that guy's getting blamed for a man that couldn't live his life like I do perfectly. Now, let's talk about it. Anyway, Danny, Tabasco Airs Cats. There he is. Terrific. The barber, Matt Belknap.
Hello.
Hello to you. What is that shirt?
Oh, I've worn it before, and
Have I liked it in the past?
I think
because I like it today.
Well, Scott Aukerman made fun of it. I remember that. But I think he made fun of it because it says analog player or analog playset on the sleeve. And if you fold that, the way it was folded, it just looked like it said anal play. So he thought that was funny. And we all laughed and had a good time.
You unnecessarily just shit on Scott Aukerman. Guy just not even here to defend himself. And rightfully so. He's not allowed in this building.
No, I thought he was right. That is funny that my shirt would say anal play on it.
That's fun.
Yeah, but I think I like the graphic.
What do you think of the band's name, Butthole Surfers? Have you ever? Is that a
Hate it.
appeal? Just trying way too hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dead Kennedys, I kind of feel the same way about. It's like that's a little disrespectful to the Camelot. You know what I mean? Those people did some good for this country.
What about the Jodie Foster Army or whatever that band was?
I got no problem with that. She's alive and well, directing.
But it had something to do with Hinckley, probably, right?
I imagine Johnny H had something to do with that. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is any of this right?
I don't know. I don't even know if Dead Kennedys is about the Dead Kennedys. I mean, I'm guessing it is.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's.
Do you think their albums had an uptick of sales when JFK Jr. died?
I would imagine. I
gotta go back to
a little picture of him saluting on there. Right?
Is that one of their album covers?
No.
That'd be crazy, wouldn't it?
Well,
and probably illegal.
I would imagine that isn't that public domain, that photo?
Is it? Let's
don't
ask
know.
our guest.
Doesn't know anything about that. This guy's all numbers. He doesn't know photos. All right, let's bring our guest into the mix. It's a pleasure. At any rate, episode 913. Anything else of business we got to discuss before I bring our guest into the mix? We're all covered. Dan, Elliot, if I may, is he allowed to take that thing off? Does he have to keep that on his head?
No, I think you should keep it on the whole time.
All right, keep it on the whole time.
Okay.
You never know when a shaky long shot of the whole table is going to be necessary later in the episode.
Shaky stop-start. Looksee is it looksee.com, Elliot? Looksee.com. Go check them out.
For all your hidden camera prank needs.
Jamie Kennedy goes on there. He's scoping out new cameras as we speak. He's going to bring X, but I understand he's going to do a porno version, XXX. Oh, and he's going to be just pranking porn stars who are pretty sharp people. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be hard to fool them.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, that's not a real cock. You're right. It's a log from my fireplace, you dumb whore. And then, you've been XXX. Gink, gink, gink. I don't know why. They're not whores. They're just people making a living. Right. I'm not going to judge anybody.
That is the literal definition of a whore, someone who gets paid to have sex.
Oh, I guess that's a great point. But they're porn actresses. These are ladies. Has anybody? Tracy Lords tried. Did anybody really ever come over? Anybody ever play the Red Rover game from porn to legit?
I think Tracy Lords is probably the number one example.
Close.
She's done a lot of, but she was in a lot of things.
Yeah, but never. I guess you're right. But nobody else. Marilyn Chambers might have tried a little bit. Linda Lovelace tried. Right? These ladies, we wish them luck. I mean, listen, they didn't move out here.
Mary Pickford, she did.
What?
Before she was a silent film star, Mary Pickford did some porn.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that.
Oh, I'd like to see that film. Who wouldn't like to see a silent porn?
I think that actually exists. There are because as soon as the technology, as soon as film was invented, somebody was like, well, now I got to film myself having sex.
Well, listen, I'm going to backpedal because the first porns I ever saw, in the back of my buddy's house or the back of his garage that he stole them from his father, were those Swedish whatever. Remember that brand, that Swedish whatever it was? Erotica. Swedish erotica. Thank you. And they didn't have any sound.
Yeah. But I'm talking about the 30s. Like, there's some,
yes,
stuff
of course, yes.
It was never released, but it was...
Oh, it's released.
Those Hollywood stars from that era were crazy. They were, they were messing around.
Release the beast. All right, let's bring our guest in. I'm tired of talking about this topic. I'm actually tired of hearing about you talking about it.
Yeah, me too.
That's
I almost took my headphones off.
Well, that's Elliot laughing. Look at that, huh? Stay sad.
I'm going to turn that frown upside down.
Stay sad, Elliot. Don't let the fun in. I don't even know why you're upset. It could be a death in the family, and I'm mocking. Is it that severe?
No, it's not that.
It's not that. So I can have fun that you're sad a little bit? All right, good. I don't want it to be.
I deserve it.
You do? It's all on you?
Man. Come on,
This
man.
whole thing. Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh. That stinks. Well, everybody figured it out, right?
Well, I thought I knew what it was from the beginning, but now I don't know why you suddenly... whatever he said...
Oh, we'll move on. Everybody figures it out.
Okay.
Right? Why would a guy be sad? Why would one gentleman be sad? I think we could all figure that out. Right? How could one gentleman be sad who was was not single the last time we did one of these?
Okay.
That stinks, Elliot. I'm really sorry to hear that. And but I appreciate you bringing it up at the beginning of the show so that now I can do 90 minutes of comedy. That's great. No, I'm not in a good mood today. Told me to lay this on you. And now I got to make yucks with this son of a bitch. Barely. Come on, man. You're my friend, and I feel horrible for you. But at the same time, I want to punch you in the fucking face for bringing it up on my time. You know what? You check that at the door. And I'm not kidding around. You see that trash can? You put your problems in that trash can. You don't bring them into this room.
Well, what if he wants to take them with him when he's done?
Well, he picks them out. He dumpster dives.
I'm just saying he could put it somewhere that it isn't amongst garbage.
It is garbage. That attitude. You know what you?
I'm not saying
Elliot.
maybe he should put it in the trash and leave it there. But if he wants to take it with him, what are we talking about?
I'm saying you leave your dude at the door and you come in here and you do nothing but sycophantically love me. That's it. We're team players here. You've got to be on my side, Elliot. I don't need to hear your fucking problems, and I'm serious. I am mad. I parked myself into this. You know what? All right, no, I'm done with that joke, because anything I would say would be...
So, as we all know, what you're talking about is he got his application for the Al-Qaeda training camp was rejected. That's why he's sad.
It's all right to me. Maybe it is beard-related. No, I mean, you're gay, and you've been with a girl, and nobody believed it. Here we go. Now, our guest, we are lucky to have. This gentleman moved some things around to make this happen. And you appreciate when somebody does that. We're lucky to have him. As I mentioned before, you can read his article in the LA Times every Wednesday on numerology. He's a gentleman that has always had a love of numbers, and we're grateful to have. I always like to go outside of the box and get away from comics from time to time. This is something that's near and dear to my heart. You know, I've always been a fan of it. Certainly number 17. You know, I love number 17.
Yeah.
And we're going to ask this gentleman about that. Why would 17 be my number of choice? And I'd like to hear his thoughts on that. Before that, you recognize him, of course, from Comedy Central. You recognize him from his many appearances on the David Letterman program. He's become some sort of a what they call a
correspondent.
Correspondent is the word I was looking for. I wanted to say roving reporter, and I knew that was, while accurate, as old as that clunky Bluetooth on Dan's head. He was a judge in the Last Comic Standing, which we really never talked about the last time he was here.
I thought we did.
Did we? I thought you and I had some 4 more questions about it that we never got to. Like, why would he do it? Did he really think those people were funny?
Do you want to play 20 questions?
What do you mean?
With him.
Yeah. You know,
I know he loves numbers.
Numbers. Andy Kindler, hello.
Thank you. I was going to do my character, but everything is moolies. It's moolies. You know what that is?
No.
That's Charles Fleischer's thing about numbers. Moleads. It's moleads. You don't know?
I thought you were saying moolies, which is an offensive term. That
No. It's like no. No. Oh, I know. I think I did say it wrong.
You said moolies.
Yeah, I did say. Oh, I didn't mean that at all.
Are you sure?
I don't open up with the racial epithets.
Ladies and gentlemen, Andy Kindler, moolies, am I right?
It's like, no, he has a whole bit, Charles Fleischer, about moleads, where he says everything adds up to certain numbers, and get one of his CDs. But here's what I was going to say. I have 2 other comments. One is, I have my own camera. It's called the Now Looky Here. They're holding that one in. And then the third thing I want to say is, I want to do the anti-Wired thing, because I think Bob Woodward, I kind of think he's a sleazeball. I can't stand. I've never been a fan of his. I love Bernstein, not so much a fan of Woodward. So the argument is that he kind of deceived Belushi's family.
Oh, is that true? I didn't know.
Yeah,
okay.
and so he kind of did like and in fact in the movie I think there's a scene in the movie where where Belushi says to Woodward, "I've always wanted to meet you." So he's the guy writing the movie, and there's a scene in there. So that was the argument, and I don't want to be sued by anybody, including you, on that one.
Well, I'm going to take you. I'm probably going to take you to small claims.
Okay, and then the other thing is that Jello Biafra was the lead singer of Dead Kennedys, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
So that made more sense. What was that other band's name?
Oh,
that was just
JFA. The Jodie Foster Army, is that what you're
No,
talking
the first one.
Butthole Surfers.
Yeah, I don't want to hear. See, Dead Kennedys was part of that whole punk movement that I think was very popular, which I never understood. But butthole, you don't want to just hear. I don't want to think about buttholes. I'm against. I want to ban bathroom humor of all time. Any reference?
You
to
guys
bathrooms?
are both. You were the 2 leading opponents of the bathroom humor.
I don't like it. Just Butthole Surfer to me just I don't want to listen to you.
Right.
You might be the greatest band in the world, and I have no interest in listening to you because of that. Does that make me 45 years old? No. I felt this way at 20.
Well, and you also don't like surfing, so they were 0 for 2.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm a yes and guy. Love surfing.
Oh, you do?
You know, I love the sea.
Oh,
Like to
right,
get
right,
out
of
there.
course.
There's nothing more free, man, than just being on your board and letting Mother Nature take you where she wants.
Yeah, I like you fumbling for the terminology.
Hey,
Nothing like being on the board. Well, how many album covers can you have with the Butthole Surfers? You have the first one where you're surfing out of the butthole,
right? Right? You're in that
then,
wake.
then you're going back in,
The follow up, you go back.
What's that called in the cube? No, that's a skateboard.
Gleaming the Cube.
Gleaming the Cube.
A fake term that I think Michael Tolkien was the author of that film. I think he made that up.
The guy that did the Hobbit?
JR.
Look, can you look that up? Who wrote Gleaming the Cube? I think it was Michael Tolkien.
And that is a made-up term?
I believe he made that up completely. I was a skater as a kid in the 80s, and no one ever said that.
Moleads.
And what is he? Mode leads is what?
In other words, Charles Fleischer, he does a whole thing, and there's one, you can go right, if you went right online and you said Charles Fleischer, Moleads, they have the whole thing online. He goes, there are 4 things to the dihydrotribe DNA. There are 2 things in the nuclear. And then he goes through a
But
whole
what does
thing.
moleads mean?
Well, he made it up.
Oh, but I don't. How did it?
It's a combination of numbers. I think he has a certain amount of knowledge of math, enough to.
So this isn't in his comedy. This is his.
No, it is his
It
comedy.
is his comedy.
But he also believes it.
Okay.
Enjoy that hour at the Improv.
I thought you were saying like he also is a mathematician who developed this whole thing.
I think he has some knowledge.
like Boolean algebra.
Right. Is that algebra while you're drinking a cup of bouillon? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is the kind of comedy that you can expect from me off camera.
That's the type of terrific joke that made people say he should be a judge. He should judge other comedians.
That's right. Exactly
Drinking bouillon. And all that really did was it saved everybody from, and now I'm going to do it, from my Mo leads. Now that has to do with Mo Howard, right? That's
yeah, exactly.
That's all Stooge related. Now you love the Three Stooges.
I couldn't. One of my not my first jokes, but I used to have a joke that said I finally figured out why women don't like the Three Stooges. They're not funny. That's why.
Have you? I'm going to ask you seriously now, and I want a real answer.
Should I answer comedically?
No, I'm looking for. I want from the heart, man. We're going to dig deep.
And the Andy Kindler behind the Andy Kindler.
Have you seen any Three Stooges lately?
No, because it was very disturbing to me when I was a kid. It really was like, it was almost like when I used to go to the circus and I'd say, "Oh, those elephants don't look happy." You know, it was one of those things.
Right.
I think there was a time period when I was a kid that I kind of did like them, but very quickly, it went into like, oh, it just looks bad to me. It looks like everyone's getting hurt.
Well, they are.
Yeah.
For comic value, I will say. Let me say this. I 100% agree with you. I never, ever liked them, and I would always, people that would say I like the Three Stooges, but I hate the Marx Brothers. That friendship's over. You're stupid. You're a tool. But they were on. I was in a hotel the other night, and there was a 3-hour marathon of Three Stooges, and I couldn't sleep. And I found myself going, you know what? There's some funny here. There's some. I mean, listen. Every joke has a horn. The camera shoots right on the hammer and then shoots right on a head. Well, I wonder what's going to happen there.
Yeah, right.
And then beat, 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 beat. Oh, hammer hits it. So, but there was some funny that I admit I was kind of in my bed going, nope, don't let my.
I think you're right because well, first of all, I can't separate from my experience of it from my first exposure to it, but I do remember liking Curly a little bit. I do remember getting involved emotionally in the relationship where you could actually like a nice Mo and then feel bad for Larry. But I was into weird things when I was a kid, because I'm older than you guys. But I was into like the Dead End Kids, East Side Kids. It was the Slip Mahoney and Hunt's Hall. They were in the movie Dead End. This is not ringing a bell with anybody. And then they had their own series but it was like for a kid, it was like a great thing. They were like, they hit each other over the head, but it wasn't so slapsticky. And then I got into shows like Superman, and I loved Abbott and Costello when I was a kid, and I loved Laurel and Hardy and all that stuff. But the Three Stooges was just almost like it reminded me of kids. It reminded me of what I was growing up with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I lived. It's like when Howard Stern first got. It was hard for me to. I think Howard Stern's hilarious, but a lot of times it was hard for me because the people listened to him were kids I grew up with on Long Island who would beat me over the head. So it's like I didn't like violence that much because I had, and not like I grew up in, I was a Reformed Jew, and so it was rough. But I didn't grow up in a rough area. But I still did. But I saw a lot of fighting and stuff. And I didn't like it. So I didn't need to have a release where I need to see physical violence.
Right, that makes sense.
It did seem like the Three Stooges it was comedy for the bullies. Like, this is what bullies are going to like.
Right.
This is right up their alley.
And I would put on my smoking jacket as a 9-year-old and watch the Marx Brothers.
Right.
That's what I would do, and look down my nose at my cousins.
Abbott and Costello I love, though. And so I think that's very
Do you still to this day?
I would never watch those shows again. I remember my favorite one was where he wanted to make antipasta. I never get this out of my mind. He wanted to make antipasta, but he put ant paste in a can of ant paste instead of antipasta. I just am fascinated with the fact that antipasta would come in a can like that.
Right next labeled as such.
Yeah, but I don't watch them now. But the movie, the one where they're what's the one Frankenstein? I've been Costello Frankenstein.
Yeah,
I probably watched that movie 40 times when I was a kid. I was obsessed with that movie.
I've watched a lot with Oliver. We've watched a lot of Abbott and Costello, and I've also when we first started podcasting, one of the other top comedy ones was old Abbott and Costello's. And you could listen to the old radio show. And by the third one, I was just like, why are they friends?
Yeah.
Why? Does he really not understand anything? Like, I mean, I know that's ruining that.
Right.
It's like my friend Mike Toomey always says about Three's Company, every episode could be solved with a Post-it note. Whereas Abbott and Costello is kind of the same way. If you just went... No, or even Curb Your Enthusiasm if you wanted to. No, it's okay. The guy just forgot his jacket. Go and ask for your jacket back. You don't have to go through a window.
Well, Curb Your Enthusiasm, to me, I find it almost impossible to watch now because it's all formula. And it's like, I watched it last night. I was like, I don't want to see a half hour of Larry David taken. You know, he's I don't want to ruin it for anybody. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I haven't seen last night's yet.
Okay, so I want to talk about it. But the point is, it just is always
talk about the one before that one.
Which was the one?
I haven't seen it in-
like the first scene, something will happen, and then
yeah, they always just plant something
every time. It's like there was an article in the New Yorker years ago about the relationship between Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld when they were talking about how they decided to come up with their show, and it was really a great article. They were talking about how they were walking through this like Korean deli, and they looked at this hand wrapped candy, and it's like who would buy this hand wrapped candy? Who wouldn't buy something in a real package? And that was the basis of Seinfeld, and that's what I loved about Seinfeld. And then later on in the article, they said they also had this thing about all the plots coming together.
Yeah.
I could care or couldn't care less, whatever the expression is. I don't care about that. I don't care that all the 4 plots come together. And to me, the best years of Seinfeld were when you weren't aware of the fact that all the plots came together.
Right.
And to me, Curb, that's all Curb is. It's like, and to me, in a way, I'm a little insulted by it because there's no dialogue. So the only thing he writes is the story, and then the story is just, well, how are we going to get the guy's shoe from the first scene to show up in my pizza at the end?
But did you find it more? I felt like it was more organic in the first few seasons, and then it went.
And Curb,
yeah.
Curb to me is always like so frustrating because I love to see those guys sitting at a deli or
just
they're talking,
yeah, that's
just
what's
talking.
funny,
And I'm, oh my god, I could watch that for hours, and then by the end of it, I want to punch myself.
I agree. Like it goes from being super funny to being super frustrating.
And here's the thing, and I really believe this, is that what happens is there's nobody, and of course I'm not, for a lot of years I was like, well, I can't say anything, I'm not going to get used in that show. Okay, the ship has sailed already.
You have not been on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I've auditioned 5 times, and first of all, I auditioned 5 times, which I found was like insulting already. It's like, just use people that you like, don't bring them in and have them, should I wait 3 seconds and then get Larry to yell? What is it you want me to do, right? I'm not going to be using the show, but the thing is, I really believe there's nobody around him, nobody who would say to him anything about the show. And I think that's a real danger with people, is like you get into this thing where you really think that everything you're doing, everyone's afraid to tell you, And I think it's never good to I wouldn't want to get feedback that said the thing I wasn't doing was good, but at some point you can get almost too isolated. Or, like I tweeted that, critics are raving about hypothetical future seasons of Curb Your Enthusiasm. That's the other thing about it's like I think people want that show to be better than it is, or there's so much that's not so great on TV that we want it, and it gets embraced, and then what are they going to do? What's in it for them to make a different show? The other side of this, maybe that's just the show he would make under any circumstances. So that's my theory.
That's what I think.
But let's also say there's a lot of people out there that do enjoy that program. I have not seen it in years because we got rid of HBO. We got rid of the home box office, and I don't like renting DVDs. I don't have Netflix or this Apple TV you stop fucking talking about.
You keep asking me about it.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean is...
You have look-see TV?
Yes.
I like a nice stop-start.
What I do is I watch a screen that's showing what someone else watching their TV is seeing.
Oh, right.
Jesus Christ, that's not a bad idea. You know what? That's Whole House DVR then.
Yeah.
What I can do then is hook up the camera to my monitor in my... what's the room I'm talking about? Bedroom.
Yeah.
While Danielle's watching something in the living room, and I don't know why he can't just sit in there with her. I need to be in my own room.
You're not getting along.
Right. I'm getting along just fine. Don't bring up relationship troubles.
I'm
Matt.
sorry.
Sweet Jesus.
That's over there.
How big of a map do you need to be drawn on this?
What do you need? GPS? Come on.
Global positioning system?
Yeah, what do you need?
I need MapQuest.
What do you need? MapQuest? Oh, you just said that.
What do you want to go to AAA and have them plot out that route for
I
you?
need a triptych to get back to the joke.
But then again, I always feel like if I can't go 2 hours without burning a bridge, or
It's not a full day, right?
It's not a full day for me. But I think what you were going to say was that is the show he would make, right?
I do think that, and I also think, to me, early on, there was some cathartic thrill in seeing a guy who has no social grace take on the things that annoy all of us, but he ran out of those things. So now it's only the things that he had to find new things to annoy himself, and they're no longer real things.
Oh, and then he's doing the thing now where he goes, he did the cut and chat. That was the one from last week. He's trying to do those things
That
like the double dip.
Right.
So it's like, it's encroachment. You did a slip and fall on me. You did a skirt the thing. He did a skirt the issue on me.
Yeah.
That might be a legit one.
I know. I
know you're so unhappy.
I had no
with that.
examples.
I thought the chat and cut was a decent one.
but you
If
saw-
that was on Seinfeld, you would have been okay with it. The idea was that they're in line for a buffet, and a woman walks up to a guy and starts talking to him, and then it just assumes a place in line
You
with
can't do
him.
the chat and cut.
Right.
You
And
can't
then
do-
he calls her on it, and then what was funny is that he got the guy that she was talking to admit they only met once 8 years
That
ago.
was very funny.
He
That
didn't
was
even
very,
know.
very funny.
He's like, no, it's true. I didn't really know who she was.
Yeah, that is true. That's funny.
I always my complaint back in the day when I watched it, and who the fuck am I to badmouth a successful television program? But just that everything he does is wrong.
Yeah.
Like, come, Larry! Like Cheryl yelling at him for leaving detergent out.
Yeah.
Come on, Larry! You know that's going to come. No, he does. It's okay. Can't be mad at everything.
Yeah, but now he's even more and more. It's like, Larry, why'd you kill those school children? They were bothering me. They deserve. Yeah, I was a serial killer.
And also, like, a lot of people have pointed this out, which is
He didn't kill school children, by the way. I'm sorry.
That'd be crazy. That'd be a good. That's
Come
gonna be
on, Larry!
Next season's arc.
Yeah, right.
But no, he gets in legitimate fights with friends over $100, and he has $500 million.
So, yeah, people have pointed that out. That it does seem
It's so weird when someone that rich has an issue with $100.
Well, how about this? How about you have respect for money? Doesn't matter how much you have. If
But he
somebody
should at
owes you
least say that.
$100.
That should be part of the conversation. He could be like, it's not about how much money I have, it's the principle. If he just said that, then I wouldn't have a problem with it. But he doesn't. He acts like he needed that $100.
You ever watch the director's cuts? You ever watch the full episodes with the outtakes? Those are always in there.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of his disclaimers in the director's cut outtakes on the DVDs.
You know, Pat Francis's joke about Curb is that Larry David calls everybody on everything except for Super Dave's toupee. He'll never.
Oh man!
Like for
I
a
always
guy,
miss a toupee. I always miss a toupee.
You
I never
you
get it.
haven't seen it?
No. I
my
for some
God.
reason, I just figure everything is right on the person's head.
Like you look at Jeremy Piven and you don't think, hey, you were bald the last time you had a TV show, now you have a full head of hair?
No, because I'm so obsessed with how horrible his personality is. That's all I can think about.
No, listen, Andy, you've read these articles. He's just a guy, man.
Yeah,
he's not Ari. Really? You ruined that when you wore an ascot to the Emmys. That's when we all thought you were an asshole. Don't try to... I'm not that guy.
You are. Well,
ascot.
Well, I love when he was on some show. I forget. Maybe it was on Letterman when they said, "Well, what do you? How's the last season going to be?" He launches right into his character arc. It's like without even thinking. Well, what happens with Ari is that Ari finds out he gets in. No, why don't you say what's happening with? No one asked you. What about your character this year? How is the show going to end? We're all hanging on tender hooks.
But that's a show you watch and despise, but you continue watching.
I watch a lot of shows that I well, I love. Entourage used to be more fun earlier on.
Season 1 was kind of fun.
It was fun because it was, basically, I think they're going to have to just have all the women be naked and them just high five in the last 2 episodes. That's all But it's always disappointing. It's unbelievable. The thing that's amazing about Entourage is that there's no sense of sarcasm at all. They're never, like I think there was a joke last night because Johnny Drama says, it's like the Flintstones without Barney. It's like the Honeymooners without Ed Norton. And I was like, that's got to be a joke. That is a joke there because everyone knows the Honeymooners that Jack Leeson almost sued the Flintstones because they did actually he said they did take the concept. Mm-hmm. So Johnny Drama is saying Barney first, and then that's kind of a joke, but because they never do that,
I bet you're wrong. I bet they didn't even think of that when they wrote that.
Because then the director goes, I agree with you, Johnny. I agree with you. His initial name was Johnny Dramedy. A lot of people don't. No! I do watch every episode, though. I'm obsessed with that show.
Wow. I stopped watching it. Again, we got rid of HBO, the home box
I could
office.
never watch it.
I know, it's not.
So
Season 1 had some funny... It wasn't what it is.
I'm emotionally invested in Turtle. That's why I continue.
He's a good man. Is he still dating that beautiful young lady from The Sopranos? Is he still...
No, Jamie Lee.
Yeah, Jamie Lee. They broke up? Oh, that's sad to hear.
Well, it's a parade of celebrities, too. That's what everybody says now. It's like all those shows now are... They have so many celebrities. Someone on Twitter today said how many like Curb's doing it, and it's every show now has 80,000 celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, they got to do something. They have to work.
Stunt casting.
Oh boy,
I can't
get.
get.
Got to imagine that was louder than you thought it was going to be.
I can't get out of my mind that the school children. It's killing me. The school children.
What,
all
did
of
he
a sudden- Yeah, that people are going to say, "Oh, that's not funny to ever say school children."
It was. I think you're okay here today.
I know, but you know what? It's more that I'm thinking of. It's like, what am I worried about all the time? I'm supposed to be the rebel, and every 5 seconds, like, what if that's the last thing? What if that destroys the career, in quotes?
Well, I'll tell you what destroyed your career the last time you were on this program, and you and I spoke freely about how some atheists get on our nerves.
Oh, yeah.
And,
was that this episode?
it was him.
Oh, I forgot.
It was
about that.
that fucking Kindler, and you're an asshole too.
Oh, these were angry atheists?
Yeah.
Like because they said, how can you... Yeah, I have less and less... Well, the person that really we should focus all of our anger on is Bill Maher.
Yeah.
Because he's really the worst. He really is right now the worst. Because his whole thing is not just that he's an atheist, but that you should also somehow say that Islam is worse than the other religions, which is the worst message to be sending right now in a world where everybody is... the prejudice against Muslims is growing. Mm-hmm. And so he's terrible. But I don't know. We don't want to talk about it again, but it's just like Penn Jillette, him. Oh, it's just awful.
It is.
But the idea that you're not somehow, first of all, you can't argue when everybody has a different idea of what God is. There's nothing, I believe in God, but I don't believe the earth's 3,000 years old, or I'm not a fundamentalist.
Right.
So it's like, they're arguing against what they think a certain group of people think, and you can't even say anything to them. You can't use any word, because everything to them is based on, can you prove that? Can you prove that? It's like, I can't prove to you things that I don't want to prove anything.
Right.
I'm not out here saying that what I believe is against science or something like that.
And these aren't all of them. It's just a certain few that rub you the wrong way.
Well, I went online once and said something like, and I know something that was so sarcasm never works online, on Twitter, but I said something like, not all atheists are as friendly as Penn Jillette. That was my line, right? And then a whole bunch of atheists came on to say that they were friendly. I'm not arguing that everyone who doesn't believe in God is a jerk, but it's this one segment of like Christopher Hitchens and Bill Maher and Penn Jillette. They're angry atheists. I'm against the angry atheists.
You're against the AAs.
So has it calmed down yet? Now we're going to stir it back up
Well,
again.
sort of back up. I probably shouldn't have brought it up, but the point is this. I did bring it up because you wanted to know what ruined your career, and that was...
Right.
That was
You might not have even realized it at the time.
Oh, no, you're done. You know you're done.
That was the shift.
I know I'm done when I look at the old bank account.
But you're traveling a lot lately. You're traveling more than you've ever traveled.
I traveled a lot after last Comic Standing. I went to clubs I never could play before. Like went to Good Nights in Raleigh and Zanies in Nashville, and I had a nice 6-month run.
And did you find the crowds receptive in a way that they never were before, or
the thing about it is I have fun in places, and I think the club scene's opening up a lot better. I really do, but I don't know. I mean, it's sometimes hard in some of these clubs. Like even these clubs that have had great kind of reputation, you're still kind of going against the grain, the kind of comedy that I'm doing in some rooms. But I'm open to going anywhere. I really kind of have almost a naive optimism about
you'll
where I
go and let me ask you a question. I'm actually I don't want to get heavy, but I'm very. It's safe to say you're hit and miss.
Yeah.
When you have a miss, you take it hard. I mean, like because you say you're optimistic and you come in and you're
right.
You're happy to go to these clubs and give it a try. When it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Did you just like sit in your hotel room and brood's the wrong word, but just feel like crap, or do you go, we give it a try and we move on to tomorrow?
I think I have a personality that is like, and I think a lot of comics like that. And I've noticed when I'm sitting as an audience member, I still haven't gotten overestimating how poorly I'm doing sometimes. Like sometimes people just are not laughing loud, So I think it's like a lifelong problem I have about like getting too involved in how the show is going. But on the other hand, that's who I am in a way. Like I really feel like stand-up is a relationship. So I kind of had a breakthrough. I don't know if I talked about this with you before. I had a breakthrough like 3 years ago where I realized that I always felt like I was saying everything that came to my mind on stage, but I really wasn't. I would get into either the audience is horrible or I'm horrible. Because that's I always was into the self-deprecating. Oh, this isn't going well. I picked the wrong field. I was always
right.
Or I said, "Oh, you people, what are you doing here? Get out!" Now I do this thing where I more explore what's happening, and so I kind of never let go of the relationship with the crowd, and that's been a tremendous breakthrough for me. I hate to use the expression, that being said, but I just think stand-up is one of those things like you can never nail it down.
Right.
And the truth is, on a spiritual level, if you nail it down, it wouldn't be fun. And it is kind of like riding gleaming the cube. It is kind of a surfing thing. And so I kind of think it's never going to be. And every time I get into this thing where I go back to my hotel room and like you say, I want to kill myself. It's like, this is the worst thing. I say, I'll never have that feeling again when things are going well. And yeah, I think I'd like it so that the downs aren't so down. But I think you're always going to have that up and down.
I think so too, and I'm amazed that I was talking to some young comics. Like to gather the kids around a campfire and talk about stand-up comedy. I'm in this 20 plus, and you're still learning. You're still like, oh Jesus, if I do that, then this doesn't happen, and then they'll like me more. Or you moving things around in your set, and all just simple things that you just take for granted in this business. That you're in it so long. That I'm just saying words right now.
No. What you're saying
is a journey.
What you're saying is exactly right. Look, we met back when we was early '90s.
You and I?
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, we met in Nebraska.
Yeah, so it had to be like 90 or 9. When did you start? I started
late 89 is when I started going on the road. So this was it might have been 1990.
Right.
Wait, it was after the Johnny Walker, which was 1990. 90 or 91.
Right. So, I mean, you've always been, I always thought you were hilarious. And I think, it's like the people I love, I always kind of felt they were hilarious, like back when I started with them. But it is one of those fields where, when people quit, it's like, you quit. But I always feel like I'm 26 years in and I feel like I learned something. And it's counter to the way the entertainment industry or, rock and roll wants to go, where you're young. But I really think it's something that you develop more if you're into it. Mm-hmm. I think when you see people who are like older and they're not into it, it's like at some point they decided that they weren't relevant anymore. Like right now, I'm obsessed with saying how old I am, and I can't stop it. I was like, I'm telling other comics, I'm going to start doing my prostate jokes, and I want to start with the gallbladder material. So there's always a thing about me where I'm always going to call attention to, I'm the oldest guy in the group, but I'm not. But it's not. I've heard other people do that where it's like, and it's more like they've given up. Yeah. And so I just think if you give up, you give up. But if you don't give up, you continually make breakthroughs.
I 100% agree with that. It fascinates me because, we were talking this past weekend with Pat Francis and myself, and Matt was listening.
I'm a good listener.
About how when we were, we weren't even in it a year, but we had it all figured out.
Right.
Look at this guy. This guy sucks. Oh, I'm going to do that bit now? And a year and you think you know it all. And then I know that you and I both have the disdain for Jay Leno, but Jay said, it takes 5 years to figure some things out and 10 years to figure more. And it's like, 5 years, I've already got it figured out.
Right, you wouldn't have thought of that, yeah.
And then at 5 years, well, shit, I do know more now than I did then. I mean, it's just common sense, really. And then at 10 years, boy, you know what? I really have found my voice more than I did at 5-6 years in. So it's like, even though that guy's a nut job, that always stays with me. That at 5 and 10 years you make huge breakthroughs, but I'm still making breakthroughs. And I find it fascinating.
If you had told us when we started, look, if you had said to me 26 years in, things are going to really start happening, I probably wouldn't have done it.
Well, I remember I forget the gentleman's name I worked with, but he was my age, 45. And I was young, and I went, if I'm 45 years old performing at a comedy club, put a gun in my fucking face. If I'm this sad, but it was what you said. He gave up. He was a 45-year-old sad guy who was just like, I'm just making a paycheck. I'm not really doing anything creative. But I think if you stay, sharp and with it, and obviously jazzy,
jazz hands,
snap your fingers. Yeah. I mean, snapping your fingers alone will give you 10 to 15% more laughs.
Listen,
everybody knows that.
You're a listener, not a talker. Let's go back to that. This snapping thing is just going to confuse the young comedian. Now all of a sudden you're going to go to the improv tonight, and 4 guys are going to do the snap bit, and they're going to all get pissed at each other. Hey, snap things mine.
I'm sorry, but I will say, the thing about comedy, and I'm going to not listen. I'm going to talk, but it's about what you were saying. If your comedy, you guys especially, but good, I think all good comics, their comedy comes from from their life. And if you are a human being on the planet, hopefully you are always growing and changing as a person.
Right.
So your comedy would also be growing and changing. It's the people who just say, nope, this is my hour. I'm done. I'm just going to keep performing this. That's the only place stagnation would come from. If you're always drawing from your life is always going to be different. So you're always going to be doing something new on stage. And
what you're saying makes a heck of a lot of sense. I just don't want to hear it. and maybe Elliot's gotten me in a bad mood, but there's just something about your voice today that is driving me crazy.
Well,
by the way, I'm 100% kidding. I don't want anybody to
no,
know.
everyone though. You're always. Here's the thing. You're always kidding.
Yes,
but you also might be enraged, and that's what I love about it.
All very true. All very true.
It really is true.
The only question is whether the rage is placed in the proper place or not with him. Whether he's actually angry at the thing that he's saying he's angry at, or if he's angry at something else and just letting it out on something totally separate.
9 times out of 10, that's the case.
Is that what you would say? Is that what you would say about yourself? That you might be angry and you're being funny, but it's because of something else that you're. Is that what you're saying? Something else that happened?
I'm saying.
No, I'm saying it goes back to the guy leaving his locker door open at the gym. I turn around and hit my head on it. Instead of lashing out at that guy, I come in and yell at Elliot for 5 minutes.
Why are you still at the gym, though?
Is that what?
Oh, you are still at the gym.
What's your question?
I didn't know you were. I thought you were joking about going to the gym.
I go to the gymnasium.
Oh, I thought that it was like you were doing like a high school thing. But you go to a gym and there's a locker? That's craziness.
Sure. He puts his books in there.
What kind of a life do you live? You're like some kind of a big, is it a hoity-toity place?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Is it Nautilus? Do you go to Nautilus? Are you in the Nautilus?
How do you not know what a gym is?
Because I put my sneakers on, because I'm from the East Coast. I take my dungarees off. I put my sneakers on, and I go for a run.
So do I.
It costs me nothing.
Right.
And I use this voice when I talk about it, because it makes others feel bad. I don't spend $400 a month so I can have a celery squeezy. This is my new character who can't see. Why do you go to a restaurant? It's bullshit. Have the food at home. Was that George Carlin, but updated?
No, it was your own guy.
Who that
I liked
was.
it. I liked that guy a lot.
Yeah, I think you stumbled on something.
Of course you do. What are you, adverb guy?
What did you just say, though? That maybe
Gymnasium?
Nautilus?
Oh, Nautilus.
Nautilus.
I ever tell the story about when and I had to have, when I did a private gig for it. I did. But it ended up being a party for an 8th grade graduation, and I thought it was a college graduation.
Were you in 9th grade, or was it as an adult?
I was an adult doing stand-up comedy.
Where was this?
Or it wasn't. It might have been a high school graduation, but everybody there was still in high school. Mm-hmm. And it was at a country club, and the guy said the night before he saw me at the comedy club, he goes, "I'd like to hire you for my thing."
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
And then I said to him, he offered me, I think it was like $200, $150. It wasn't a lot of money. And I said to him, I go, why don't you just give me a year membership? He owned a Nautilus.
Right.
Give me a year membership to Nautilus. No way. Oh! No way. I'm giving you a free show. I'm never going to go to your Nautilus. It doesn't cost you money to print up a card that says I belong there. No way. That's like a $700 thing. You're dumb. It costs nothing.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. It also just says how much he, valued what he was asking you to do,
I didn't even see it that way at the time. I just thought you're dumb because I'm really giving you a free show.
I thought you were going to go the other way. It tells you how much he values his membership, the community of people that go to his gym. Like, I can't let this guy in for any price.
I didn't even see it that way. There's a chance that's involved.
Kind of riffraff
I
thing.
can't have the artistic types around.
Like, where does it end? This comedian comes in. Next thing you know, you got
the
goats
queers
on the treadmill.
And you're sticking it up with everybody?
Right.
Yeah, what are you doing there with your elbow pads?
What gym are you going? Maybe that's why you don't go to the gym anymore.
I don't.
Everyone was wearing elbow pads anyway.
No, I totally saw it as something that happened, like something like happened to you in high school that you're still angry about. That's all. It had nothing to do with the fact that
when you heard locker, you just pictured a
locker, gymnasium, tuna fish sandwich, the school bully, the guy from the football team,
the glee clubs in the background humming a tune.
That kind of a thing. That kind of a situation.
I was in that glee club. I wasn't getting mocked.
Are we at the end of a riff now, or about to?
What?
We're at the end of a riff?
No, we're right in the middle of it.
Right.
In surfing terms, we're in the tube.
Let's gleam it. That's cute.
That's still skateboarding.
Listen, they're very similar.
It's true. Skateboarding is really like surfing on the sidewalk.
That's right. That's what they call it, sidewalk surfing.
Sidewalk surfing.
Oh, wait a second. But what were we talking about before his rage? Rage.
We were talking about Leno, probably.
No, you were. What was your thing that you said you liked it, but you don't like to hear his voice? This is I'm sure you love this on the podcast.
Oh, I was just
Let's
saying.
go back.
I was just saying that like he will jokingly yell at somebody,
right?
And you were saying is that real or is that not real? And I was saying, well, it's probably real but misplaced, and that's where the humor is. Is it's funny to yell at somebody for no good reason,
right.
But there's genuine emotion in it somewhere coming from somewhere else.
I think, and the just general idea about the stand-up thing and about how you progress with it, and I don't know, lost my thread. I'm glad I brought it back up, though, huh?
Yeah.
I'm that guy. I'm that guy who brings back things and has nothing.
Andy Kindler's our guest, everybody. We're going to get into the numerology in the second half of the program.
Moleeds.
This is the guy who's avoiding the issue.
How do you spell it? Maybe that'll help.
Moleeds.
So it is Mo Howard related.
It is Mo Howard related.
I thought that was something from Glengarry Glen Ross. I need Mo leads.
What happened to that guy? What happened to that guy?
Which guy?
David Mamet became a right-wing guy.
Oh, I've heard that, but I didn't know anything about it. Is that true?
Yes, he's like I am suspicious of anybody who went more right-wing during George W. Bush. If that's
Like Dennis Miller?
Yeah, well, Dennis Miller, he's just off the charts. I can't even I can't even hear I don't like people named Dennis anymore. But when you see someone who's like, who said, this thing of torturing and invading countries we shouldn't have been involved with, that makes you want to go more right wing. I don't get it. And the phones are not lighting up. No one's interested. Nobody cares.
Someone's calling in to say, please go back to atheism.
Yeah, right.
You're even mad at Dennis Weaver?
I'm not mad. What happened to him?
Nothing. He's just a nice guy.
He's another Dennis.
Another guy named Dennis.
Oh, no. But then I was thinking, did he go right wing? No, I totally forgot what I said 2 minutes ago. That's why I'm bad at improv.
What about Dennis Woodruff? How do you feel about Dennis Woodruff? Do you think he's got a shot? You think he's still got a...
I'm the forgetful improv guy. What did you say?
Explain who Dennis Woodruff is to everybody else outside of this 4 mile radius.
I knew the reference. Okay.
Dennis Woodruff actually lives in my neighborhood. He lives 3 blocks away from me.
I live in everybody's
That makes me feel good about where I live.
He has a home?
An apartment, I believe.
Explain who this is.
Dennis Woodruff is what I have to believe as an insane person who he decorates his car with crazy stuff, but all promoting him. He's ostensibly an actor, I believe. He might also be a director. I think he's now trying to say he makes his own movies with him as the star, and he's trying to sell these movies to distributors.
Has anybody ever cast him?
I would love to know the answer to that, because every time I see him, I'm like, well, somebody must have jokingly put him in something. But the point is, he drives around town in a crazy car. His newest car has a humongous styrofoam head of his own head on the roof of it.
So he's just nuts.
It's a hybrid, Jimmy.
Oh. Hey, Dan, are you looking up Dennis Woodruff?
And he's got...
Wait, hang on. What? You are? Oh,
how about that?
Somebody marked the calendar on this, August 22.
Yeah.
Dan's looking up something before I asked him to do it.
So has he ever been cast in a legitimate thing is the question. Can you discern from does he have an IMDb page, and has he ever been on like a real thing in a movie or TV show?
Okay, he has an IMDb. Okay.
Speak up, Dan. Nobody can hear your mumbling.
He drives around with a printout of his IMDb page.
He probably does.
5 things.
He's five things. Give them to us.
1992's We're Talking Serious Money.
That was a good movie that was starred Dennis Woodruff.
Directed by Dennis Woodruff.
Yeah.
Dennis Woodruff Productions.
2003's The New Tom Green Show.
Oh,
okay,
well,
that's
tell
a
me
real
Tom
thing.
Green had him on as a character of some type.
Yeah. Okay.
Or went down and interviewed him or something.
That makes sense. That's what I was kind of
Made him look
imagining.
stupid. All right, go ahead.
Pretty Cool 2.
Oh, he was in the sequel?
Not one, but not the...
Also, right?
Pretty
Also,
Cool
right?
Cool
T-O-O.
2.
Also
Okay.
or 2?
T-O-O.
Like that.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to predict some sort of horror thing, because his new thing seems to be he's pushing horror.
2010's Cold Creepy Feeling.
Cold, creepy feeling.
All right,
Yeah.
so
that's his.
That's a
one
great
of his.
name of a
But
movie.
the answer is people, not really. Nobody ever really put him.
Right. It's like him and Angeline. Angeline
That's-
is another one where she just puts billboards of herself around town, and no one understands
But
why.
didn't she wasn't she married to someone rich?
Rich husband.
Angeline?
I think Rich husband
People,
did all that.
that's the rumor, but I don't know if that's still the case. She
Oh,
she will accost you in the Whole Foods parking lot in West Hollywood if you see her, and try to sell you an autograph or whatever. She's,
Really? Oh, so something's gone down.
Yeah,
with
I think so.
Evangeline.
Yeah.
I'm in the Whole Foods in West LA. And I don't want to cost you, but I kind of try and get recognized. I have all the seasons of Everybody Loves Raymond on me.
Just ready to go.
Just ready to go. I sell them.
They're
out of the back of my trunk.
Lately used.
Something's going to be funny in this topic I'm talking
waiting
about now.
I'm waiting.
Jimmy Pardo is really which make me laugh should have been. Just try to make you laugh.
I'm an easy laugh. I like to laugh, though.
Oh, well, because what?
I do like to laugh. And you're a comic who likes to laugh, too. You're not a guy in the back of the room who, funny, good joke.
Yeah, well,
you laugh.
I never, years ago, I mean, I actually love, I love Seinfeld, so this is not a slam on Seinfeld, but years ago he used to say that the comics never laugh. But he also used to say, but he hasn't said it in a long time, it's always the comic, it's never the crowd, which I don't believe.
Oh, I 100% disagree with that.
Yeah. But then he used to always go, we never laugh because we're comics. But that's not true. We love to laugh.
I like to laugh. I like to laugh as much as I like to make people laugh, and that's a true statement.
Yeah, and I
put
think
that on a shirt.
That's, I think, one of the, and of course, I don't want to get depressing, but the thing I loved about working with Greg Giraldo was he's one of these comics who was so giving in terms of being able to laugh at people. Mm-hmm. I've never met somebody like him who was that way. He was so easygoing. He was so funny, but he wasn't like egotistical about his comedy. And that's the thing. I think sometimes people they're not comfortable with their own comedy, so they don't want to hear anybody else or something like that.
I think you might be onto something there.
Yeah.
Well, I could totally understand people watching if you're a comic watching comedy and just thinking of it through the prism of, is this funnier than me? And if so, that's not good. And if it's not as funny as me, then I'm going to look down on it. Right.
And see, someone like, I want to say someone like their character is to say that, say Howard Stern has a character but he laughs at people too. Mm-hmm. I mean, some people might have their thing on stage they could be funny and part of their thing is nothing else is funny, but I can't think of an example of that.
I can't either.
No.
Dan, look that up. Comics who think is funny, but they don't think things are funny.
But that's a perfect example of Leno. What Leno's insecurities is that Leno, nobody even knows that Kevin Eubanks left. Leno. They have no idea. I say that on stage. Kevin Eubanks left. The crowd stares at me stunned, like, who's Kevin Eubanks? Mm-hmm. Leno, to me, is a perfect example of somebody who does not probably ever laugh at anybody, or maybe in the 80s, doesn't want to have anybody near him that's funny.
100% agree with
doesn't care about the guest being funny. It's all about him and his Lindsay Lohan jokes.
I would love to know, and we should have talked more when Tom Wilson was on, because he was in those Comedy Store days with Jay. Would Jay be supportive? Would he ever laugh? But according to that book that I'm dying up here,
it was a great book.
Great book, but you really see that Jay was always in it for Jay,
right?
Not that we're not in it for ourselves. I mean, we're
yeah, but there's a difference between being like, it's not that we're in it for ourselves. I mean, everybody's self-absorbed, the comedian is self-absorbed, but he is so clearly, just in it for himself to the point that he doesn't even know that there are other people around.
Right.
I love that thing. Did you read the last Late Shift? What was it? The Late Night War?
Yes,
book?
Of course.
So the whole thing with him was like, yeah, we could go to ABC. If we went there though, it's one more exit on the 134. So I could see doing that. You get off there, Hollywood Way, you make a left, you go down to the thing. Yeah, everything with him is like, I don't know. I'm used to the camera people, and it's like he has a weird, limited way of looking at the world. I mean, people don't understand that. He looks like he's such a well-rounded guy.
Andy Kindler is our guest. We're lucky to have him here. We just did it's funny. We did a Conan writers seminar that I moderated recently, and somebody asked a Jay Leno question, and instantly you've got 12 Jay Leno impressions going on. 12 guys just angry that we didn't have a job for 9 months of our lives. Dan, before we go to break, did you look up cigarettes and whiskey, John Lennon?
Yeah, there's nothing.
Nothing.
The only thing I could find was this shirt.
Must be Jack Daniels. I think he wore a Jack Daniels shirt. That's what I thought. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Or Southern Comfort? Am I thinking of Janis Joplin? By the way, that thing you did where you were on the podium, behind the podium, that was like one of the funniest bits I've ever seen.
Thank you very much.
On TV. Oh, my God.
Thank you.
You must have gotten an amazing reaction
Andy
for that.
Sidekick, yes. The Sidekick. I got a lot of... It was neat. It was. So it was the first taste I ever had of probably you on Last Comic Standing, where people know who you are. It was the first. I've hosted my own shows and I've done a ton of stuff. That was more people saw that than saw anything else I did.
And I've never seen anything like that on TV. I mean, it was such I thought a brilliant bit. I've never just seen anything like that.
Matt O'Brien was the gentleman behind it.
Oh, who was the guy behind you?
Oh, that was Andre Dubuchet.
Oh, okay.
Who was also hysterical. But it was Matt O'Brien's idea to have the
hilarious
sidekick. And I'm grateful that he came up with that idea. I go in every day. What do we think? We're bringing it back, right, guys? We got Psychic come back. Well, maybe the band leader needs a guy. I'm willing to be anybody's shadow. What do you need? All right, let's take a break. Listen, I'm really enjoying this, but I don't appreciate the fact that you're ignoring the numbers.
Okay.
This is a bit that I'm going to drive into the ground.
Okay.
I am going to insist when we come back with I'm going to get your opinion on some numbers. I really want to hear how you feel.
I'm going to bring it when we come back.
Well, listen, you don't have any other choice.
Oh, okay.
Can't go lower. What we're going to do is take a break. I'm going to go.
What are you, the guy who talks about taking a break for 3 minutes? And you
Yeah.
can't go into the break?
What
are you, that guy?
What are you?
What are you, the guy who hasn't been on the show before?
Who am I, the guy who has to be told when the break is?
Yes, you know what's going on here.
What is this, lunchtime? What is this? What do you have in school? What are we on?
Recess?
What is it, recess? All of a sudden? All of a sudden's good.
What about this or this? Sandy Kindler, everybody. We're lucky to have him. He's taking time away. He shuffled some things around. Got some very important stuff.
You had a numbers seminar.
Oh my God, are you missing I never would have said. I would have said go do it.
Or were you actually? You were going to a casting call for the show Numbers. You were going to be.
I didn't realize it was canceled. Actually, no. I have an interview with the Daily Breeze. Anybody? Anybody at all? Evening Outlook. Anything at all?
No.
The Daily Herald.
We'll be back right after this.
Hey guys, Matt here with some dates for you. September 22nd at the UCB Theater, Jimmy Pardo is hosting The Writer's Room. It's a great comedy show. Go check it out. Andy Kindler is going to be at the Punchline in San Francisco on September 13th and 14th. Elliot Hochberg, I'm working backwards on the calendar for some reason. Elliot Hochberg will be at the Acme Comedy Theater doing musical improv. It's a show called Camelot 2, and you can get tickets at acmecomedy.com. That's only in LA. It's not online. But speaking of online, Jimmy Pardo was just on our friend Dan Katz's podcast. That's called Podcats. And there's been other episodes with Elliot Hochberg and Pat Francis, among others. You can find the Podcats at iTunes. Just search Podcats, Podkatz. And if you want a nice T-shirt, like maybe the I Can't Even Imagine shirt, go to onecolor.com. That's our friend Mario's site, onekolor.com for the best T-shirts on the internet. Enjoy!
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Never Not Funny. My name is Jimmy Pardo. That did not change in the break. Some things did change, and you'll notice it. Elliot is now wearing the Look-See camera. Looksee.com. Go there and get one of these cameras. It seems to really be great.
I don't like the way he's looking at me with that look-see.
I don't like your endorsement of the product, Jimmy.
I may not be endorsing it.
Yeah, but don't you get some cash from it?
I think we got a camera.
That's what you got from it?
I don't know. We get something, too. I don't know. Listen, when I agree to promote anything on this program, it's something that I actually think might be pretty neat.
Right.
And I tell them we do it my way. You know.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we don't.
Is it the highway?
It's my way.
My way or the highway.
Do they also do they also make the fine how do you do? Is that them too?
Oh yeah. This is from the makers of the Fine How Do You Do. TheLookSee.com, LOOXCIE.com. Elliot is looking at me right now with said camera, and I'm going to give 2 thumbs up, and that's not necessarily in reference to this product.
Coming this fall, it's meet and greet.
That's a new product?
It's a new product.
What is the meet and greet?
Meet and greet is like during for POV, you're meeting somebody, and it has a hand. Folks, seriously,
You've already given
my
up.
idea is I cannot. I'm not good on my feet. I'm not quick on my feet, which is also a product there.
We're still also one of the Look-See folk.
The quick on your feet.
Quick on your feet.
Oh, it's the all-new Quick on Your Feet from the makers of the meet and greet and the
slide
Fine
right
How Do You Do.
Slide right into your shoes.
What's that? The Quick on Your
The quick
Feet?
on your feet. Yeah.
What do you think of that product, by the way? The is it called the Shoe Store Under? Is that it? Like where you store your shoes underneath your bed?
Yeah,
but I think
yeah.
the name of it actually is just Shoe Store Under. Like it's that. Danny, Staring at me, he's not going to get the fucking answer. Typing on that computer will, you fucking dimwit.
Do you? You know what's great? The one
I'm kidding. I'm 100%.
He is totally kidding.
100%.
Except for the anger. I love the one where you put the things under and the furniture and you move it around.
Oh, yeah.
Slide.
And then they show you moving a car. I just love it. I love it. I love it.
I have those things.
You
use
do?
them. Yeah.
The magic lodge?
I've seen on TV or
Yeah.
your own.
I got them at the hardware store. So,
And
but it's
what are
the
you
same.
moving around that you need that?
Well, my coffee table is extremely heavy.
Oh, and how do they work?
It works.
On wood floor or just carpet?
Both. We used to have wood, and
You've
then
used it.
we got a carpet, and it helps move it around.
Do you have a cap snaffler? That used to be my favorite product when I was a kid.
What is it?
Snaffler?
It's a cap snaffler. It's snaffle. I don't know what snaffle means. Oh, yeah, it's like you have a problem taking the thing of a can off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it snaffles things off of caps and claps.
We
It's
had
not
that
snaffler.
when I was a kid. I guess my whole family is just behind all these products. because
You
we
had a thing that like it helps you
It was
open
like-
a pop
Yeah,
top?
it's like a.
Well, we had a couple different things that did that. One, all from
Well,
television.
you have fingers too, right?
At first,
Because that helped me do it.
First, we had fingers. Then there was like just this rubber mat, like it was just like a circular piece of rubber that you would slap down onto a thing.
Oh, by the way, that's a genius product.
Yeah,
but that's not the same thing as this is the cap snaffler.
The cap
Or is it?
snaffler. What was the
the cap
snaffler?
snaffler really was some
Was it
version
the
of
thing
that?
you put on the cap and then you stick it in? It looks like a bottle opener, but it actually like provides.
Well, that one
a
I've seen
turning-
at Bed Bath & Beyond, 20% off coupons.
You get those in your
You
mailbox.
know those coupons never expire. Yes, I know that.
You can use one for each product. You know that?
Oh, I can get back in line, huh?
Yeah, no, they'll take the same purchase.
Oh.
You like this voice?
I do.
It's my new voice.
I like this guy.
That's actually useful information. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you didn't know that?
didn't know that.
Yeah, you can use 5, 6, 8, 20 coupons
Good,
for
'cause
one thing.
That's how many I have.
They want you.
they want you.
They have a meeting every week, and they just said, but they won't just cut everything off by 20%.
You're gonna make it a little.
It's much better to send out and waste
Yeah.
money with the mailer than it is just to cut everything by 20%. Although I will say this, 20% is a nice sale. When you send me something for 10% off, you're not doing much of anything. Right,
Right.
20%.
Yeah.
I'm getting a nice amount off. I'm getting my tax covered and another 10%. Mm-hmm.
And then they have the $5. You always have to think the $5 off. The $5 off, is that better on a $15 product? Well, you're damn right it is. You're damn right. You're damn
Well, yeah,
right.
because 20% would be $3.
Exactly. You see how it works?
It's just you know this because you're a numbers guy.
Oh, here come the numbers.
Moldies. 9 and 2 is 11. 11 plus 1 is 1 and 2. 2, 2, 2, 2. Too long, too far. That's why Charles Fleischer does it. Nobody knows. Well, I'm so sick of doing references that nobody gets.
Everybody
It's sticking
gets
in my
Charles
craw.
Fleischer. Nobody knows this bit.
I mean,
nobody can stay in the room long enough to watch the set.
Did he do this in Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I don't remember.
That was a turn.
What?
That was a lovely turn.
What just
cannot
happened?
be
He did
happy
a
with
lovely
that.
turn. What's it called when you do like a thing in a movie? It's not
A
a,
roll. They
cameo.
call it a roll.
Oh, no wonder
yeah.
why I don't get cast.
Oh, I know what you're going.
Hey,
for.
I'd like a turn. Hey, you guys doing some turn casting today?
Well, these expressions I can't stand. Like one off. Are you doing a one off? You doing a one off? I don't want that to be an expression.
Does that mean like one show you go into?
It's
Ohio?
like a one. Matt, you know,
You were on one episode of a show.
it's a one off, but it could be anything.
No,
it
I
could
don't
be
like it
anything.
either. I don't like one off.
So you doing construction work? It's a one off. No, it's not. Nothing should be a one off. If you did it one time, you did it one time. It's not a one off. I'm the guy who gets mad about nothing.
Confirmed.
Why do they call them shoes?
Speaking of shoes, what's that thing called, Dan?
I don't remember.
Oh, Dan.
You don't remember?
What?
You looked it up and forgot?
I started Googling shoe store and then forgot what the actual thing was.
The shoe store under, something like that. I think it's
But
called.
then there's also like the magic something.
Cap snaffler.
You did?
Yeah.
What does it look like?
It looks like what's the
Looks like a-
pad that you rub for acne?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oxy.
It's made by the
10.
same people.
It's actually the same product. You just relabeled it.
Oh, it is the exact
That's the
same
thing I was talking about.
Yeah, why they
That's
have
what I
it-
had.
They
Can
call
I
it
get can I get a visual on that, please?
Yeah, you can't make that at home yourself.
No.
That's not something.
So it's just the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just adds grip to the.
Well, my favorite
situation.
promotion when I was a kid, and I will stay with me the day I die, is at the end of an ad they would say, "So you don't forget, order before midnight tonight." It wasn't like after midnight. We're not going to have it, or you're going to get a better deal if you call before midnight.
It was meaningless.
You know what? Maybe you'll forget this. Why not call before midnight?
Over midnight.
Yeah. And the other one, like, they say call, and if nobody answers, call back.
Do you know
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Do you know why they did that? Because after midnight, They're going to let it all hang out.
Midnight.
We're gonna let it all hang out back on midnight. After midnight.
The shoe, it's just called Shoes Under. It's not even
Shoes
as clever
Under,
as what
yeah.
I came up with.
Ugh.
ASCAP's on the phone. BMI's on the phone.
No,
After midnight.
Nobody's on the phone. If they are, they're going
We're out of key. See, we always intentionally go out of tune so that no one can get us.
Thank you, Dan. Shoes Under, it's called. It's to store your shoes under your bed.
And what is that? Is that a play on anything? That term, that name?
No,
Shoes Under.
Like everything about it stinks. It doesn't have a good ring to it.
No, it
it's
doesn't.
exactly what it is. It's almost like that movie Crazy People. Remember that movie with Reiser was in it, and they
I didn't see that movie.
was Reiser in it, or was it
I thought it was Dudley Moore.
Dudley Moore?
Oh, yes. That I do remember.
And Daryl Hannah, and they ended up getting jobs at an ad firm because they were crazy people that just spoke their mind, and they thought they were what? Reiser was in that. I know a lot about movies.
And Reiser.
And Reiser. I know a lot about. I love Paul Reiser. You know that.
Yes.
What do you got, Dan?
J.T. Walsh is in it, who played Bob Woodward in Wired.
Whoa!
Here's
you just
some
blew the
information.
lid off this
J.T.
show.
Walsh was in Crazy People, who played Bob Woodward in Wired. Now, this show has just come full circle.
We just did what Andy hates when Curb Your Enthusiasm does it.
Yeah. At the end,
It all comes together.
Wasn't J.T. Walsh in another great movie, which is The Big Picture? Wasn't he in that
that's
movie? I
J.T.
love
Walsh.
that movie.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
great movie. And he's terrific. We lost him. That's a
I
gentleman
know.
we
He
lost
must
way
have
too soon.
died young.
What? I don't remember him dying.
He did die
Oh,
young.
he died like 10 years ago.
Young.
Wow.
Young.
Yeah, he must have died at, 47 would be my
I don't
guess.
like that.
Jeez.
I don't like dying.
What?
I'm not dying.
Not a fan.
I'm telling you right now.
You're never gonna die?
I'm not going to die. And one of my favorite jokes was Peter Gawke's joke. He goes, I want to live forever. So far, so good.
Hey, go back to China. Go back to China.
Was that Peter Gawke?
not even from China. Yeah.
Oh, was that one of his bits?
Yeah, when he would play the Peter Gawke, who you probably never saw do
No,
comedy.
these kids don't know
Which
about
is
it. They don't know
wonderful
about it.
comics.
All they know about is
Kids today.
slackers.
He was a funny, silly comic
It's true. All I know is Slackers.
who opened his show by he'd come on stage and it's like, "Hey, I think I heard something weird happen out in that audience. Let me play back the tape of what had just happened." Then you play, "Please welcome Peter Gawke," and you just hear, "Yay!" And you just one little voice, "Go back to China! Go back to China!"
I never heard that one.
And he's like, which is stupid because I'm not even from China.
Oh, that's so
That's
great.
really funny.
He was. He would tighten up his belt. He would go. He'd go. I'm going to tighten up. I'm going to go to number 4 today.
Because he really was. He had one of those Ken Berry type of. No one knows Ken Berry is. He had one of those contortionist type bodies. Just
Right.
he was like a world class gymnast. At
Oh,
one
I didn't
point.
know that about
Yeah.
Pete Gawke.
He absolutely was.
I had a very, and I love Peter, and I always was. I opened for him.
He's still alive. The way you're talking about him, he's,
But he's successful in screenwriting
Yeah,
now.
right,
And what
yeah.
I'm about to say is going to sound like I'm shitting on him and maybe talking out of school. But I turned the corner. He had worked the club like 6 months prior, and the club couldn't wait to get him back because he was just crazy funny. And then my week. It's before I figured out that doing 30 minutes of crowd work in front of somebody isn't really the fairest thing to do. So I was burying him, but yet not knowing I'm burying him because I was sit in the back of the room and laugh at everything and wonder why is the crowd not laughing.
right.
So one show, the MC's on stage, and I turn the corner and I hear the club owner going, "What do you think's happening this week?" It's like I can't follow this guy. This is the wrong guy to have in front of me. Hey, man!
Oh.
And it was like so.
Hey, man!
Hey, man! Like,
Wow.
but I heard it all. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
and
Why does
then-
that story just make you look bad? And who else is with me on that one?
I don't know. And that story is 100% meant to make me look bad.
No, I'm just kidding. I was just kidding. I don't want to get in your bad side. I've heard about the rage.
Oh, you don't want to open a locker in front of me. I'll tell you that.
Or into your heads. Oh, I see. Did this actually happen in the locker?
They left it. He left it. But I turned the corner and hit my head. And
That is
made me-
terrible. That is absolutely
Oh,
terrible.
shut up! It is not that terrible.
I'm the new empathetic guy.
Oh, I like this new character.
I like that you like it. I'm so sick of myself. It's over. That's it. Someone put down the time. I'm done. Never going to say anything funny again.
How old are you?
109.
Didn't you just want to talk about it? How old you are? Isn't that your thing? You want to?
I don't know how old I am. Why would I know that?
Because you've looked the same since
32.
the day I met you.
37.
You look
39.
the same. Like you have not aged one day. In
Why
the
wouldn't
time
I
that
be
I've
when
met
I'm 41?
you. My wife is crazy with this texting. Today.
With the texting.
About Whitney again?
What is it with the texting? I used to have a joke about what is it with the texting that doesn't apply anymore.
Oh, what was it?
Well, my thing was like, oh yeah, instead of saying I'll see you at the restaurant in 5 minutes, I pull over, I have to take a protractor, but now I realize, it's so people never have to talk to each other.
It actually is more
It
convenient.
works.
Well, sometimes it's very convenient. Other
I
times,
love it.
pick up the fucking phone and talk because we're not solving anything.
That's true.
By going back and forth in email, Elliot.
Elliot, what is it with you with the emails?
Hey,
what are you
guys.
writing what's it when you a manifesto? What is it, an email or and AOL? Everything is windmail that. Is that good for the town?
I think it's great.
Windmail.that.
Somehow it worked. Is it because he didn't go here?
Yeah. This is bad. This is good.
Okay, so for future drumming, you're a drummer, right?
No, guitar player.
You like to play guitar, you get the 12-string?
I never liked 12-string guitars.
There's no reason for it. Sounds fuller, but who cares?
No,
Get
because
two guys.
you don't have as much manipulate. You can't. It's like you feel like it's a thing that you're not even playing.
What
It's
do you
like all of a sudden it's orchestras joined you.
Right, you're not Steve Howe. What, you like a nylon string guitar or you're a steel string guy?
I don't like nylon string. I don't like finger picking. I'm jealous. I'm not jealous, but I admire people who can finger pick. I like a nice. I have a Guild D50.
GYLD.
What are you, from the 20s? It's Guild, my friend, like the Screen Actors Guild. Something you haven't paid your dues on. Guild D50.
Why do I keep paying my SAG? That's a great question.
Yeah, why don't you bring that up at the next union organizing meeting? Why am I paying the dues? What do I get from these dues? Let me get this straight. I get a newsletter every month.
I haven't acted in a SAG project in 5 years. I'm paying dues.
That's we should have merged, and we are going to merge. But we had some. I don't want to say disparaging things about them, but there were some nutcases. We should have merged. Every dollar you make should have gone in the same kitty. What is a kitty?
Well, it's a.
What are we playing, mahjong? Jimmy, I swear to God, I'm overselling now with my delivery.
I don't know if you are.
Oh,
I
okay.
think the
I thought that was right on the money.
Mahjong.
You had to do something. The words weren't going to do the work for you. You had to.
The ideas contained within them.
Who's going to host the Jerry Lewis thing? That's all I can think about.
Oh, that's a great question.
Who's doing it?
Oh, Tom Bergeron.
Get out of here.
I think it's going to be Tom Bergeron. That's my guess.
Have you ever seen the Bergeron? I can't do the Bergeron on radio or podcast, but he does a thing where he talks into the mic and then he just lets the mic kind of drop. And let's go over to that area where Brooke Hoo is talking.
You could do that. You've got 5 cameras aimed at you, including one from Elliot's face.
Doesn't have a microphone though. He's got a
Boom.
mic.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and then the mic just kind of drops. Oh, he's so smooth.
I like you.
I don't dislike. You can't dislike Bergeron. You cannot dislike.
I was going to say, how can you?
I don't
Who do
dislike.
Let's go on a short list.
Okay.
Who do you like?
I enjoy Stephen Colbert. I love the Stephen Colbert Show.
Okay.
I love Modern Family. A lot of people are on the fence, but that's one of my
Who's
favorite
on the
shows.
fence?
I love that show.
Who's the asshole on the fence?
Some
with
people,
Modern
you know what?
Family?
If you turn in, if sometimes on Modern, because they try so many different things, not everything hits.
That's true.
So if you do turn on a certain, but I love that guy Ty Burrell. I love him in any context, and I love that show. I love Ed O'Neill. I love everybody on that show. So I do love people.
Terrific show.
Yeah, and there's other things that I like as well. The Wire. I enjoyed The Wire.
Right.
What else should I like?
I didn't see Breaking Bad last
Bad.
night. You watched?
I want to watch it from year one.
Oh boy,
Yeah, you will like it.
And I know I'll like it.
Boy.
I love Bob Odenkirk in anything.
He's so
I think
good
he's one
on
of
it.
our best actors of our generation.
Bob Odenkirk is doing a sketch character in the middle of this drama, and it works.
It's so good.
Like you don't go, "Hey, this guy's over the top," but this weird. It works. It's fantastic.
I like who's the guy from Steve Coogan who played that
Coogan.
I'm Alan Partridge.
Yep.
I love that.
Oh, Hamlet 2, the star of Hamlet 2.
Yeah.
I didn't see that, and I wanted to see
No,
The
of course
Trip.
you
Did you
didn't
see
see
The
it.
Trip?
It's horrible.
The Trip.
No, I haven't seen it, but I've heard it's great.
Yeah.
Oh, Steve
so
Coogan.
people think I don't like things. I love Mr. David Letterman. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Why would I kid ourselves? I like people think they go, why don't you? Because there's nothing funny in me saying what I like.
Hey, I 100% agree with you, but you can't hate everything, man.
How many more examples do you need, Daddy-O? How many more examples? I like. You know what I like? Brian. He's the only person I like in news. I can't stand any network news. I hate all the cable channels. I love Brian Williams. I am in love with Brian Williams.
You like Brian Williams?
To me, he's hilarious.
What about my guy in Headline News that I like? What's that guy like? Mike Gallegos.
There's never anything any sentence that will ever sound good that starts with, you know, who's that guy in Headline News I like?
Is his name Mike Gallegos?
Yeah, I think that's
What does he
right.
do?
I don't know.
He's an anchor in the afternoon.
There's no news on Headline News. You're making it up.
No, he does news. He actually does news.
See the guy that looks like a poor man's Harrison Ford? Who's that guy?
I don't know. Look up Mike Gallegos and show Matt a picture and see.
I thought Harrison Ford was the poor man's Harrison Ford. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-bum. Schmink.
Oh, what do you hate Harrison Ford
I
for?
love Harrison Ford. Why would I say? You know who gets on my nerves though, and I used to love him. And why am I doing this? I'll never work. When did Jeff Bridges turn to this guy? On every interview.
Yeah.
You're not the crazy heart guy.
He became a salty old
He
cowboy.
did become that guy, and then he was that in True Grit too. Like,
I'm the guy from True Grit and Crazy Heart. Was that a good movie, True Grit? Couldn't see it.
I liked it.
I like the Coen brothers. This is that I'm doing that character.
Yeah, I
the
like
guy who
that.
switches back.
I like them all.
I went out for that part in that Coen brothers movie. His the great stories in Andy Kindler history.
What part?
The one where the Jews are in Minnesota.
The Serious Man.
Yeah, didn't get it.
What part?
The lead for crime. Would I bring up an anecdote that wasn't a good one?
Yes.
I've gone out for things and millions of things that I never get. But this is the best thing that I didn't get. The biggest part I didn't get.
And who ended up doing that part?
Some guy. I don't even think it's.
But a lot of comics went out for it and they wanted someone I think that wasn't recognizable. That's why they went to me. But I wanted that part, but I wasn't going to get that part.
You also were up for the role of the comedian in Dreamgirls that Bobby Slayton.
Oh, I was up for that. I thought you were joking. I was up for that.
did?
Well, up for that. Is that when you're not up for something if you just go in, you bomb at the audition.
Oh,
then you're not up for it.
You only went in once. I thought it came down between the two of you. That was
No,
the
that
information
did
I
not
got.
happen. It was like, oh, Andy, I'm sorry, but it was really hard. No, I went into one thing.
Oh, jeez, I talked to Beyonce on the set when I was there, and she said that it was between you and Slade.
Oh, so you were in that movie?
Yeah.
Oh, you brought it up just to say,
He was cut out of it.
I was cut out of it, but I was in it.
I went up for the Job part in whatever that show was.
Arrested
that
Development.
everyone liked. That everyone liked.
That everyone liked. Sounds like you didn't.
No, I never got. I never got into it enough to know what
Can't
was going
wait
on.
till they make that movie, man. Can't wait. 5 years later, let's get that movie made. Really, some unfinished business with that program.
Who haven't we trashed? No, we're not trashing. It's not about trashing with me.
Oh well, Brian Williams is on 30 Rock. That's a Sophie's Choice, or not even a Sophie's Choice. What is that? That's a Solomon.
That's which one Sophie wants to get rid of both. Is what it is.
You don't like 30 Rock.
No. Here's the thing. They have brilliant writers on 30 Rock. You got your John Ricci, who's a genius. You got brilliant writers, and you got hilarious. And I liked Alec Baldwin for the first couple of years, but I can't. Everybody is a cartoon on that. It's unbelievable to me that they're from a sketch show, and yet nobody seems real who's on the sketch show. And I'm not in the Tracy Morgan camp. I just can't get on that bus. Like when people were like surprised that he. Like I was saying, my joke was, I don't know what he's doing on stage, but it's no act. When he said the thing about the.
Oh yeah, right.
That's him. Now I have to admit, he has made me laugh when he's on because he says about 40,000 things.
Yeah, of course he's going to hit
and
a
some
few.
things are funny, but that's another show I'm compelled to watch 30 Rock because there's always something I like on it.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
I just accept that it's not trying to be real. That it is sort of like a cartoon. It's sort of like this live action Simpsons in a way that they just cram jokes into it. But I love the jokes. I watch it for the jokes.
There's always a great joke. Like one time, Alec Baldwin said, "Do you like that song? Are you ready for the football?" So they always have lines like that are very, very good.
Did you get me a picture on Gallegos?
Are you ready for the football?
Don't be thrown by this. The pronunciation might not tell you the spelling exactly, but it's probably Gallagos.
It's Mike.
That's it, right?
Well, it's not. I keep saying it. Mike Gallegos. It's Mike Gallegos.
If he gets upset, if Dan does get upset, though, he can crush you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
He might crush you. It's not going to happen.
What the fuck?
He's a gentle giant.
That's not his name. Then I keep getting it confused with
Everyone's a
Mike
gentle giant to me.
Gallego, who played baseball.
Oh,
Mike Gallego. Mike Gallego. I think it's Mike Gallegos.
he's your favorite person, and you don't even know his name.
Not a picture of him.
Well, this is driving me freaking bananas.
I love
now.
that guy, W.A. Figs. He's my favorite.
No, you know what?
Buster Clinton.
Here's the thing, Andy. On headline news, the news is the star.
Not during the hour of Nancy Grace's on. She's an angel. That Nancy
She
Grace
really
is an
is.
angel who
She
really
cares.
is helping children and on all victims. She really does a great job of really showing what the good thing is in people. You fucking ghoul.
She might be the worst human. I think she might be the worst human being on the planet. Who's not in jail.
Right?
Who's not in prison.
She's the worst human
She is
being
the worst
on
human
the
being.
planet.
She's terrible. You can
And-
see it in her face. It's all in her face. It's locked in.
Do you know she wears sweatpants underneath that? That she just wears a top.
Oh, my
Then she
God.
wears sweatpants because she's got to be comfortable. Aren't you interesting? God, I hate her.
Grace.
Who are you mocking there? The person who says that or her?
Her. I'm not
Nancy
For wearing
Grace.
sweatpants?
Well, because she loves telling you about it. She
okay.
loves to talk about how she's comfortable.
Yeah.
And she's just a person. Like, I'm just wearing sweatpants right now. You're a ghoul.
She's done nothing positive in the world.
Nothing. Not one positive thing.
Yeah. She's.
Oh, my God.
God. Why is she? Why are we?
And the people, and by the way, that's the one where I'm obsessed with because it comes on right when I leave Conan. It comes on the XM, they play headline news, and I listen to it because I listen to it just almost the way I used to listen to Rush Limbaugh to get mad at the listeners 20 years ago. Nancy, you're just an angel. Yeah, thank you, sweetie. What can I do for you today? Well, I was thinking if the police ever thought of looking at the neighbor, because that guy seems sneaky. I don't know. That's a good question. Let's unleash the lawyers. Have they looked at the neighbor? Yes. The first second that this case was open, they looked at the neighbors. Thank you for your call. What the fuck are you wasting time? You really think you solved it from your fucking house, you dunce? You really think you are going to break the case open by waiting 40 minutes online to talk to Nancy Grace? You're going to break that fucking case? No. Holy shit, thank God Martha called in. The creepy neighbor that killed the other kid. Maybe that guy should be looked at. You fucking dunce.
Is it something you care about? Yeah, she is.
Again, inappropriate anger.
No, she is somebody that we should all be enraged about.
Same with that Jane Velez Mitchell. What's good? Boy, I'm obsessed with that channel.
There's nothing
She
good.
deals with the issues. This is an issue that will not and should not go away.
Well, that's the thing about. See, I'm a huge Obama fan. I can't stand anything. I can't stand listening to my friends. The people like this Dylan Radigan. It's Dylan Radigan who's this foaming, rabid-sounding guy on MSNBC, and he went on a rant. And then his email, if you agree with me, write to me as I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it.com. How that's a character was not supposed to be a positive character.
Right.
You're embracing a guy you haven't seen the movie then, and people love. And it's like I'm just so sick of everybody who could never do what Obama's doing for 1 second. Would not even if they were in the office for one, they would be sobbing like a child, and they're telling him, "Well, he should have 4 months ago done that." And why didn't he start? Just shut the hell up. Stop Monday morning quarterbacking this guy. Thank you. And I know you do not agree with me.
No, but let me ask you a question. You think this presidency is a one-off?
Nice.
To me, it's like here's like a lot of people are claiming they're progressives, but it's like if they were around when Jackie Robinson was around. Well, isn't that Jackie Robinson just punched the guy in the face? That's what they want Obama to do every day.
You're right. Yeah.
Well, Jackie Robinson should punch the first baseman in the face next time he yells at them. It's like Obama is the Jackie Robinson of politics, and he's a genius. And I'm not a true believer. I don't believe everything he's done, but I just can't take it anymore.
I don't know. Those are two pretty strong sentences.
What's that?
The Jackie Robinson.
Well, I'm a
politics,
white guy.
and he's a genius.
Look, I'm a white guy, so anything I bring up with Jackie Robinson, I think is going to sound ridiculous. So let's put that aside. And the analogy makes no sense. Put all that aside.
Okay, so
but the point is,
ignore the analogy.
we live in a country where there's a lot of racism, and they keep saying they want this guy to come out every day and scream and yell. He wouldn't have gotten in office if he screamed and yelled. If he screamed and yelled about Jeremiah Wright, he wouldn't be in office. He's in office because he knows what he's doing. But they think as soon as he got in office, now he can't know what he's doing. So I got to be on cable news like an idiot because everything is shtick. That's what I've decided. Bill Maher, it's his shtick. Bill Maher doesn't care about the country. He cares about Bill Maher.
Sure.
And if you watch Bill Maher talk, you can see at the beginning of the sentence, he doesn't know what he's going to say, but at the end it's going to be politically incorrect and in your face and it's going to be crazy. And then he looks at the crowd like, yeah, that's right. I said something stupid. Exactly right. And that's all these people on cable news. They're all the Chris Matthews. These guys, that's how they made their career. Chris Matthews took down Clinton. Then he loved George W. Bush. Then he didn't say anything about the invasion of Iraq. And this is how they keep making their money. And they don't even, and the only reason why I know is because I did politically incorrect a couple times and I was on the show and you argue and you realize, I'm having fun just arguing. Mm-hmm. And you get disconnected from the emotion of it. And so these people on these cable news, they don't care about anything but that they're having fun arguing back and forth. Meanwhile, these are real issues. Look at me, Jimmy. I'm doing the...
I don't know who you're mad at now. You love arguing so much. You're arguing now.
God damn, I'm mad at myself for bringing it up. You're going to get a lot of email about
you go to therapy?
Obama.
Is that something you do?
I don't know. I don't want it.
I wasn't. I didn't even say that for comedic effect. It is. I'm just asking. You are not unlike me. You get riled up about things. Do you go and spend a little time talking to somebody?
I have at various points in my life, but I'm so good. Why do I need to deal with it?
Right. You got to figure it out.
Ah, look at me.
Right.
I got treated for ADD. That's the only thing I've done.
Is that true?
Yeah. I'm treated for that. Listen, like everything gets serious. Yeah, I didn't realize I had AD&D. I just my mind AD&D.
Advanced Dungeons and Dragons? Oh, man.
Well, no, my mind would go blank.
That's the numerology again. You're just playing with a 19-sided dice.
My mind would go blank every 10 seconds. Like on stage, I notice it now. How did I not notice this earlier, that my mind goes completely blank? So I just thought I was lazy my whole life because I thought it was a fake disease, but it turned out to be true.
And they put you on some sort of medication for that?
Yeah, I'm not at liberty to divulge it.
All right, Andy Kindler's been our guest. How are we doing on time here? He's got such a tight schedule.
Yeah.
But I could run down and meter it up.
We got 5.
Want me to do it?
No, we got to end this thing anyway.
Dan just-
This thing, what?
Or maybe not.
What are you doing, Dan?
He's getting phone calls.
Oh, geez, is everything okay, Dan?
Pat asked me to unlock the door.
Oh.
Let me ask you a question. I'm serious, Dan. I can't even do it. It's offensive what I was going to do. All right, well, listen, we've had a great time in here today. Elliot, you're going to get through it?
Yes, sir.
But I ranted too much at the end, isn't it?
Yes! I'm getting away from that. Yeah, of course you ranted too much.
Let's close it out with one of your signature comedy songs. That'll bring it back
Because I'm
up.
a nice guy. I can't help but have you. I'm a nice guy.
Yeah.
So in other words, I alienated all of you at the end. You all looked at me like I had some kind of a problem.
No, I was listening.
We were listening. Listen, I don't 100% agree or disagree with anything you said. But
it was more about how we didn't want to fall into the black hole that you found yourself in.
no kidding. Jesus Christ, I'm going to let you fall on your own.
You edited it heavily, right? So
What's that?
You edited everything.
Oh, it's going to be that
No.
first 13 minutes before you started talking. That'll be the whole episode. Of course it will be. Yeah, we edit.
And then you bring in somebody else to do the numerology guy?
I wanted that character to show up at some point. Sweet Jesus, you promised me.
Molides.
You know what? The number 36.
Yeah.
That's 9 times 4. There's 4 chambers of the human heart. Just think about it.
Did you just make that up?
No, that's real. That's RZA, the mastermind behind the Wu-Tang Clan, explaining why there were 9 members of the Wu-Tang Clan and why their album was called Enter the 36 Chambers.
Because 9 times
4 is 36.
Look at
there's,
that.
there's 36.
6 is 34.
There's. Oh, and he had another thing about the chessboard. There's 9. The chessboard is 9 by 9 or something.
Wait, 9 times 4 is 36.
36.
Yeah.
Look at Jimmy. Look at Jimmy.
How many-
That was your high school face.
My head just exploded again.
How many squares on a chessboard? 64.
64.
That's 36.
How many
That's 8
gigs
times 8.
in the initial Commodore? That's a 64 as well.
Right. That's a
Okay,
good call.
good.
Did you say gigs?
I thought it was
Yeah.
Lionel. I thought you were doing a Lionel Richie bit.
I did too. That's what threw me off. I thought he was talking about the band, the Commodore.
Well, there were about 64 guys in there.
I think there were.
And then he left, and then they went on the night shift. Lionel left. We could finally do shit songs on the night shift.
He wasn't in that one?
No, he left them. No, that's when he went. He's busy dancing on the ceiling. Those fellas are on the night shift.
But seriously, if anyone can find the clip of the RZA, because I saw it on MTV like in 1993 or something, and if I just want to see that interview again where he was explaining it because it's so crazy. He just goes on and on about numbers. It's awesome.
I'd like to hear that version because
I was hoping Andy was going to deliver it for me.
Molides.
we gotta go. You got
I got a meter.
These very important. What?
He's got like 2 minutes.
Yeah, but he's going to take him 2 minutes to get down there. We got to take a photograph of this gentleman. We got to get some memories. We got to sing some Jim Croce.
That's right.
All right, listen, Andy. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you
For having
for
me.
saving my ass and showing up.
Anytime.
My
You're the man.
personal life got so crazy over the weekend that I completely failed to ask somebody to do this show. And you were next on the docket. And I said, Andy Kindler's in. And I didn't even want to go to number 2. And that would be very uncomfortable if I had to go to Ricky Minor, the leader of the Tonight Show band. That was going to be my second choice.
Yeah.
He'd just come in here and nod.
Well, just on your phone list, that's how they are. It's Andy Kindler and then that guy.
Well, that's my speed dial. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got them in that order. You know your speed dial number 8 on my phone, right? In case you didn't know. I mean, obviously you're not the first 7. That's friends and family. I mean, your friend, but
Yeah,
we're very
the
tight
first family. Yeah.
And then,
but as Andy knows, 8's a lucky number, so that's exactly where he wants to be.
Infinity 8. Infinity. Benzene.
remember this: you always split aces and 8s. Remember that.
Okay.
On behalf of INDHD.com, Elliot Hochberger, good friend, there he is. There's the Tabasco ears, Danny Katz. The barber, Matt Belknap. Our friend, Andy Kindler. My name is Jimmy Pardo. We'll see you next time on the podcast. AK-47, gone, not forgotten.